Of all the things we do in the province of Ontario that are truly among the best in the world, I'd put summer camp at the top of the list. Kids come from every part of the globe to experience Ontario's 450 summer camps. We are just terrific at it. But will camp happen this summer? Even Premier Ford's nephew is lobbying to get a yes. But would that be the smart thing to do? Let's find out. We're going to discuss this at her home in North York with Jocelyn Palm. She's the owner and director of Glen Bernard Camp, north of Huntsville, just west of Algonquin Park. David Latimer is here. He's the owner and director of Kilcoo Camp. He's in Minden Township in Haliburton. And Grayson Burke, director and co-founder of Cedar Ridge Camp. He's in the Madawaska Highlands of Eastern Ontario. And it's great to have all of you on our program tonight for what is obviously a very timely discussion. There are thousands of kids all over this province who are very anxious to get an answer on the question that we're going to discuss tonight. Joss, I want to start with you. Everybody calls you Joss, and I'm going to do that too. Yeah. How many summers has Glen Bernard Camp been in business?
Well, we've had 98, and this is to be 99.
Oh my goodness.
99 years without an interruption.
You've never missed a summer?
No.
Even when they had polio outbreaks 70, 80, 90 years ago, you never missed a summer?
No.
How about that?
No.
Dave Latimer, how long you guys been in business?
We started in 1932, so this is going to be our 88th year. So it's been, again, uninterrupted.
Never had to turn kids away?
Never had to turn kids away. No, never like this. Unprecedented times.
And I assume the same for Cedar Ridge, Grayson?
No, never. This would potentially be the first year.
Well, then let's ask the big question everybody wants to know. Can you really do summer camp safely in an era of COVID? Joss, why don't you start us off on that?
Well, a very good question, because, you always prepare for every incident. And I have to confess that this is something we never experienced or thought about how we would deal. So we have been spending a lot of energy on all the things that we have to deal with. There's a number of things, and we think that we have dealt with most of them. We've certainly went through everything we do, who's coming and going during the summer, and how are we going to get a bubble over the camp so that people are safe. So we've looked at all the aspects.
Well, let me follow up with David Latimer on that. David, you probably can't put 400 kids in a lodge all at one time at dinner. You probably, can't have visitors day. You probably can't have your counselors, leaving the campgrounds on a day off and then coming back. Do you know, first of all, would you agree with all of that? And do you think everybody would be on side with all of those changes?
Absolutely. And we have a parent group that is 100% committed, understanding that these things are very important and things that we've really spent, just like Josh said, a lot of time considering where the staff would go because they need a break, and keeping them sort of on camp property where it's safe for them to go, and talking to food services. And there's some really amazing plans that could be made to make sure that this would happen. And I think that that's what our goal is, and our message to the parents is we will do everything we can. But again, it's up to public health and public health and safety. And we will, of course, all abide by that. But, all of these plans that you're talking about is something we're working on very, very carefully and diligently.
Grayson, is it possible to do summer camp the way it's meant to be done and practice physical distancing at the same time?
Well, it's a good question. I think, summer camp is definitely going to be different this year. We've already talked to our staff. The number one priority of camp and camp staff is to keep our campers, our staff, and our community safe. Physical distancing could be done at camp. I think what the plan calls for is cabins to travel around, cabins that live together and eat together, travel around together as a group. So lessen the interaction with other cabin groups. They're here at camp together and they can talk together, but separating the social distance from each cabin group. But also within a cabin, social distancing, these are your best friends. These are the reasons you come to camp. So it's tough to separate that within a cabin. And also the role of a counselor. The counselor takes on the most important job of being a parent and being a guardian of kids. And that is really tough to do from 2 meters, 6 feet away.
Joss, I wonder whether things like canoe trips would still be possible. What's the verdict on that?
Well, I think most of us agree that that is something that we can't control, so we won't do it.
Can I also follow up with this, Joss? Now, this is really ancient history that I'm going back and remembering, but I think, for yours truly and for many people, summer camp is the first chance to get a job, to get some kind of employment experience. Do we have any sense about how many young people would be sort of out of luck for that first job if camp is canceled for the summer?
Oh, well, I'm not sure if you added all the staff at all the camps, but there's 400,000 kids. So, there's probably a huge number of staff.
David, I assume we're talking thousands of young people, right, who'd be out of work?
Yeah.
Thousands of young people out of work, and all of them very, very committed. And as you know, Steve, camp is in your soul, and for these kids, it's truly heartbreaking, right? That they might not have this opportunity.
What do you do about things like, it's inevitable at some point in the summer that, I don't know, a dishwasher's going to break down or something's going to go wrong, and you got to have maintenance people come in from outside to fix something. How do you do that in an era of COVID, David?
Well, it's interesting. We were talking to our food provider, and they've come up with an amazing plan how they would do that, involving, spraying down things and being able to come into the kitchen, and protocols for when, people should be not in the kitchen when they're repairing things. And I think the good news of all this is people are really starting to understand that everyone has to do their part. So if they're going to do that and they're going to exist in this world, everyone's going to have to do their part, and all part of the social distancing. I really see the system doing well. I was very encouraged when our, the people doing all of our sanitation and everything have a really, really very good plan. And I know that all the people outside are working on the same thing as well. So we can all collectively come to a good place and present that to the, to the health department.
Right. Joss, can I ask you about that? How would you do things at Glen Bernard if you had to have people come in from outside to service machines or deliver food or whatever?
Right. Well, we'd have to isolate what the action was going to be and make sure that there were no people around. And we would have to disinfect with the fogger or whatever, depends on what they were fixing. After the person has completed the task.
Grayson, let me ask you about testing. Do you know whether you have the capacity to test on a regular basis campers and staff if it comes to that?
Right now we don't, Steve, but we are looking into every single option available. The ability to rapid test campers would be a game changer. I think now the plan calls for a 14-day quarantine before coming into camp, and pre-screening every kid and every staff member, anyone who enters camp.
Joss, I think the fact is that a lot of kids, a lot of people in general, are asymptomatic and then go on to get COVID-19. So it could very well be that people, if camp happens, would show up not showing any symptoms and then contract the virus while they're there. Would you have local healthcare facilities being able to treat people if they got COVID-19? Well,
they would be put in isolation immediately. And then our arrangement is if they get sick, the parents must immediately organize to come and get them. So we will keep and look after them. We always have a doctor at camp. So there's a doctor there 24/7, so that the immediate looking after would take place, the isolation. And then we would have to determine the isolation that we're going to have to do at camp to deal with it.
Understood. David, I know that oftentimes people apply to go to camp immediately after they've finished the year before. It's many, many months in advance. So I wonder how many of the people who have applied either from last year or earlier this year and who have called you up and said, your nickname's Lub, I'm going to call you that, and I bet everybody else does. I wonder if they've said, Lub, we're just out. We're not going to do it this year, sorry, but we're out of here.
Well, it's a great question for us. A lot of our, the enrollment is done, in the fall and the early part of the year and picking up. And so of all the applications that are in from camp, we've had 4 cancellations and actually picked up a few campers. And actually one lady re-enrolled her 2 kids. And I really think it's because the parents trust our judgment. They want nothing more than camp to happen. And they also know, and I had this kid say to me, is the greatest thing. He goes, Lub, he's 9 years old. He goes, Lub, we trust you. You're not going to do something to put us in harm's way. And if you can get camp open, it's my favorite place in the world. But if not, we'll be okay. And I really believe our parent community and our camper community believes that. They've put their trust in us for years. And in all the camps and everything that we do, whether it's tripping or whether it's all of the swimming qualifications, our parents trust us and they have to trust us. And in this case, they trust us implicitly, which has made me feel very strongly that we have to do whatever we can to try and get camp open. And if the health units say we can't, then we know we've done our best. And I think that's the most important thing.
And in a normal summer, you have how many campers there at Kilcoo?
250 at one time.
So you've had 4 out of 250 who said, no, thanks. That's pretty small
4 out
number.
of 5, over 500. So, so it's pretty impressive.
Grayson, you wanted in?
Word trust.
Yeah, we've been overwhelmed by the response from our parents. We've had very few cancellations. We have a lot of parents right now sitting on the fence, just kind of, weighing out the risk. We're still a long way away from July and August. But we've had parents, more registrations in the last 3 weeks than we usually get. And I got a call last week from a parent that's been, downtown Toronto with her 2 boys in a condo and trying to work. The need for a summer camp, if you had to prescribe something for a kid that has been inside, that has been attached to screens, that has been socially isolating, the best prescription would be summer camp. And parents understand that. And the need for summer camp this year is great.
Joss, I want to ask you a bit of a political question. And that is, all of you belong to an organization called the Ontario Camps Association, which I gather has stayed neutral on the whole question of whether camp should open or stay closed, because, of course, there's quite a difference of opinion within the camping community in the province of Ontario. Do you think there should be a single policy set out saying either you're all allowed to open or you all have to stay shut, or should everybody be allowed to make their own decision? How should it roll out?
Well, the decision has to be that everybody has, got to decide for themselves. And the parents have to decide for themselves that they know the camp, they know the history, and they're prepared to have their camper come. And we are preparing to do our very best. So I think that, the public health aspect, of course, is based on the huge population and the various statistics that come out of that. And therefore, the decision that Camping Association wants to say, if you meet all these standards, there's already 600 standards, so we just added more with the new challenge we have. And if we feel we can honestly present camp and it will be safe and to the nth degree, as far as we know. But again, no one guarantees that nothing will happen. Mm-hmm. So it's the parents, and then the very important thing, I think the other thing that's really key is staff. I mean, we are asking a lot of these young people, mm-hmm. and our relationship with them is critical. So, and it depends on where your camp is, how many campers you have, where they come from. I mean, the international campers for our camp have actually, they don't have a choice because of the airline situation and getting here, and whether they're allowed to get in the country, and then they've got to do their 2 weeks isolation before they come. So basically, we're getting late now that's not a factor.
Well,
So,
David, let me follow up with you on that because I'm doing the math in my head right now. If you're going to ask all the campers who will come to sort of self-isolate, and camp starts, I guess, end of June, beginning of July, how soon do you need a decision from the Premier of Ontario as to whether or not you're a go or a no-go?
Well, for us, it's a great question, and every camp is different on that. We have staff that will come up and get everything prepared and finish off their courses and do whatever it takes. We've had parents say, tell me the day before. For us getting prepared, I think we're all in around the start of June, for camp as it looks right now. And if I think the date is June 2nd, now that the Premier has said, when are they going to extend the emergency orders? And so it sort of depends on that. That is in and around the date, but I'm sure we could push it back and get camp open. And we have some staff and who would come up in a heartbeat and just to, get us ready and get us going. And same with our food suppliers, and our chef is on standby. So maybe even sooner than that, later than the June 2nd date. But in and around that date, I think we're all in the same boat on that one.
Yeah.
And have you talked to anybody in the Premier's office or any cabinet ministers, or have you, clearly you want to have your opinion on the record and make sure they've got the best information possible to make their decision. Have you had a chance to talk to anybody in the government about this?
I think
That's
the
for you,
Ontario
Ron.
Camps, okay, thanks, Steve. The Ontario Camps Association has been, talking a lot with the people in the Ontario Premier's office and the public health people and everything like that. And I think that we have our voice is being heard, and I hope our voice is being heard not only for looking after the industry if camp does not happen, but also giving us a voice to give us a chance safely. And so I think that that's starting to ramp up, because I think the government, and I really believe this, they want young people in whatever programs, whether it's sports programs or camp program, they understand. Just like Grayson was saying, these kids have been behind screens. So I think they're going to, and I will give them the benefit of the doubt, they're going to try and do stuff to help kids everywhere. And if they can look at camp and say, you know what, this is something that's important and you can do it properly, I believe that they will look at this, because they're looking for any help at all in this unprecedented situation. Kids need to get outside.
Well, Grayson, it's interesting. We've been talking about the risks of going to camp, but I guess we should look at the other side of the coin, which is, I'm trying to imagine, I think one of you said it's hundreds of thousands of young people in the province who go to camp every summer. And the notion of all of them hanging out en masse at the mall in the cities is another kind of a risk that we have to consider as well. Do you think the province is considering that side of the coin?
Well, I hope so. I hope so, Steve. So we totally understand that as a camp, we're only going to be able to operate this summer if our fight against COVID-19 is going well. If we take setbacks in Ontario, if the risk gets greater of us having COVID at camp, we're going to have to close camp. But if we progress and we get better and restrictions loosen and kids are hanging out in the city, are congregating in parks, and parents need to find makeshift daycare because no camps are open, I think a risk assessment needs to be done on what is the risk for these kids hanging out in the city compared to a closed environment at camp with medical staff on site, with safety pandemic protocols in place compared to what kids will be doing this summer in the city. So we're at risk, like what David said perfectly. We need to know an answer. We have facilities to power up. A lot of camps haven't started opening up their facilities yet. There is health restrictions and protocols are going to be in place for camp that we need to start getting ready. So the answer from the government, or at least an answer to say, we're going to work with you, the OCA and all our camps, we need to get going quickly.
Joss, I wonder if I could get you to speak to that. What's a bigger risk? Sending a couple of 100,000 young girls to a camp like yours, or having a couple of 100,000 young girls staying at home and congregating in parks or going to the mall in the cities of this province?
Right. Well, that's a very hard question. Of course, I speak with a bit of history because I got sent to camp when I was 6 because there's a polio epidemic. And get your kids out of the city. So off I went to camp. So, I can't say that. I mean, the incidence of COVID up north is very, very little. And we are taking all these people from Toronto and all across the Canada and delivering them. And our camp is certainly not going to be full. We're going to have to make changes in the program to accommodate the requirements. And so that's a lot of what we've been spending time on. So it's a very difficult thing to say. I mean,
Joss, I want to follow up on that polio story. That to me is very interesting. So your whole experience with camp started because your parents wanted to make sure that you didn't contract a very serious illness in the cities, and that's why they sent you to the country.
That is correct. Yeah.
And obviously you were able to avoid it by going away to summer camp all those years ago.
I never heard of anybody that got polio or, as a result. But, I mean, we're dealing with a really violent virus here. So,
Grayson, let me ask you about, because I think your camp, I think you do a special separate section of camp for kids with particular physical or intellectual disabilities. And I wonder if that camp can continue to go forward in an era of COVID.
We've had them cancel. So a lot of the camps that deal with a vulnerable sector have canceled across Ontario. It's just the increased risk of having those kids at camp were just too great, and a lot of the groups have canceled this year.
Because this is a group that suffers disproportionately from COVID-19, and therefore you were not confident that you could provide a safe environment. Is that the idea?
No, it wasn't us. So I think their concern was medical access before the summer. So getting the kids are all pre-screened before coming to camp, and they're just unaware of that being a possibility.
Gotcha. David Latimer, tell me this. If you can't open up your doors this summer to kids, what's going to be lost?
That's a great question. And I've thought about it many times before. The reality is, we're all going to be okay. We will get through it. Part of camp's lessons, and I'll get back to the question, is resiliency and teaching all those things. But I worry about those kids that maybe this was their last summer at camp. Maybe this was the one opportunity, because what camp gives to kids, as we all know, and I don't need to say this, but confidence and resiliency and learning how to deal with friends and learning how to a lot of the things that they don't really teach you and do that in school. So a lot of these kids will miss out on that great opportunity, and especially being behind the screens for the last how many months. So being in the great outdoors or whatever camp offers, and so many different great camps across Ontario and so many different ways they offer a great program. I think they're going to be missing a lot of just the pure innocence of youth and just being with their friends. And, so many of the parents' comments is now, interesting enough, Steve, we all know that this actually camp is more important than ever, but we might just not have that opportunity to offer that. Right. But we're here to help them with it, and we will help them through it. Whatever happens, I've said this before, whatever happens in this with camp, it's part of our chapter, and how we deal with that is an important thing.
I do wonder, though, Joss, there is every summer a moment at camp when a counselor is dealing with a particularly homesick camper, and there's that moment where he or she just knows that kid needs a hug. Are you going to be able to do that this summer if you open your doors?
Well, there you go. We hope that by creating this, bubble, with the group, etc., who would be working with. But you know that won't be ignored. But again, you're right. That might be an occasion where the hug is needed. But you know, we have to do it.
Grayson, let's finish up on this. It seems to me that your best lobbyist going these days is the nephew of the Premier of Ontario, little Dougie, who apparently went to his uncle a few weeks ago and said, hey, am I going to camp this summer? And the Premier said, I don't know. And little Dougie said, well, get on that, will you? You know if anybody's tried to sign him up for the cause?
Oh, I cheered when I heard that. No, I don't know for sure, but so many kids are looking forward to summer camp. We sent out an update to our parents last week, and a parent emailed back and said, well, it better happen because she's already packed for camp. So a lot of kids are looking forward to camp this year. It's the growth, all the benefits of being at camp, and it's a special place for kids. And we know the value as camp directors. We see it every year on the impact that camp can have on kids. And this is an experience we're hoping to offer this summer. If not, the summer of 2021 is going to be that much more special, but we hope to operate in some capacity this summer.
I want to thank all three of you for coming on to TVO tonight and sharing your views with us. David Latimer, Kilcoo Camp, Jocelyn Palm, Glen Bernard Camp, Grayson Burke, Cedar Ridge Camp. Good luck to the three of you, and we'll see where this story continues to go. All good wishes.
Thanks so much, Steve.
Thanks so much, Steve. Appreciate it.
The Agenda with Steve Paikin is brought to you by the Chartered Professional Accountants of Ontario. CPA Ontario is a regulator, an educator, a thought leader, and an advocate. We protect the public. We advance our profession. We guide our CPAs. We are CPA Ontario. And by viewers like you. Thank you.